This is the Tree of Life, Season 28, Chapter 7. In this episode, we will be talking about how buried intersections of distinct recursion produce a non-local causality. In the last two episodes, we talked about how hierarchy is a manifestation of common paths within infinite recursion between distinct individuals. The idea was, if two individuals enter infinite recursion distinctly, and there is some extrinsic relationship between them, some of the paths within recursion will be the same. This means that intersections between these paths is possible outside of time parsimony. We also know that these intersections result in flipping of the phase of a bodily rhythm or cycle and the compelling of acquiescence. This flipping of phase recapitulates the hierarchical priority and causal precedence of one of the subject's paths within recursion. The question becomes, why, when there are common paths of recursion, do we see interactions between these paths? If we imagine that each bubble universe represents a distinct non-consensus during its recursion, then the coincidence of two paths within distinct recursions, which can carry the consciousnesses of both subjects, represents a new consensus as between those individuals distinct from the consensus outside recursion. Further, domains represent potential common pathways within a recursive path. Intersections, described as nonlinearity, or as consensual spaces, represent these intersections between the recursion of distinct individuals. Since intersections can occur within a given path, or within recursion itself, these buried intersections represent a distinct kind of causality. Whereas intersections along a traditional path involve a temporal and spatial nexus, intersections between recursive universes don't require the same kind of ordinary nexus between temporal and spatial coordinates. The temporal and spatial coordinates of a substitution event may be distinct for two individuals entering infinite recursion separately, which means the causality of these buried intersections is non-local. Nevertheless, what is clear is that these non-local intersections are responsible for severing infinite recursion for one of the subjects, according to the causal precedence, or priority. Both hierarchical priority and tautological priority entail a similar direction to causality. In hierarchical priority, that causality is established by the linking of the consciousness of the lower in priority to accomplishing the objective of the higher. Whereas, in tautological priority, the incoming consciousness is one who has already acquiesced to the impulse, reliant in objective-oriented tasks, on a spatially anchored object, or set of objects. But full infinite recursion presents an opportunity for this buried causality, non-local, where the spatial coordinates of substitution events can be distinct for the interacting individuals. That's the end of the podcast for today.